Metaphysical as such considerations may be, it seems to me that their issues are earthly and practical. Essay 1. Wealth versus Money. Civilized people, whether Western or Eastern, need to be liberated and dehypnotized from their systems of symbolism, and thereby become more intensely aware of the living vibrations of the real world. Money is a stand-in for wealth. Real wealth manifests as food, shelter, resources, knowledge, and meaningful experiences. The pursuit of money rather than wealth will always lead to war and destruction. Essay 2. Murder in the Kitchen. Being a place of transformation, of alchemy, the kitchen should have some atmosphere of magic. The kitchen is the central room of the home. In the kitchen, one learns the ritual of energy exchange through the practice of slaughter and consumption. Our bodies require the consumption of energy, energy that must be taken from something else, be it plant or animal. To honor the ritual of slaughter, a meal must exist in excellence from start to finish. Growing or raising the food, the harvesting, the preparation, the consumption, and the life lived with the newly gained energy all play a part in the transformation that centralizes in the kitchen. Essay 3. Clothes on and off. Clothes, then, like our roles and personalities, should be worn easily and lightly in the realization that, because the whole universe is a masquerade, we may as well do it with the utmost flair and elegance. Clothing is an outward representation of the mind. What is perceived as hippie clothing can often be characterized as beautiful, relaxed, serving function, and freeing the spirit. Meanwhile, what is accepted as traditionally Western clothing is often binding, constricting human form and function, and above all, silly. Choice of clothing is a reflection of identity. Essay 4. The Spirit of Violence and the Matter of Peace. This notion of the imperious violence of intelligent spirit against the intractable and mindless matter is man's projection upon the universe of his own internal split. Humans are not violent by nature. They tend to violence because they are educated at odds with nature. Recognizing that organism and environment are one is the key to ending violence. Essay 5. Psychedelics and Religious Experience. Inability to accept the mystic experience is more than an intellectual handicap. Lack of awareness of the basic unity of organism and environment is a serious and dangerous hallucination. The war on psychedelics is an agenda that restricts the freedom of a wholly fulfilled life. Characteristics of a psychedelic experience, as recounted by Alan Watts. The appreciative awareness of the slowing of time. Increased awareness of polarity, relativity, eternal energy. Polarity. Awareness of polarity is increased awareness that opposites are inseparable. There is no life without death, no darkness without light, and no enlightenment without the unknown. Relativity. Awareness of relativity is an increased awareness that life is a singular theme of which there are many variations. These variations are played out by the various organisms that share this reality. Eternal energy. Awareness of eternal energy is the increased awareness that humans are a continuation of energy that will lose shape and reform for all eternity. The journey of psychedelics is not one to be feared, for it is a journey to know the self. Seven short essays. The speed round. The basic myth. The self exists as actor and audience, experiencing itself in all things. The great mandala. There is a universal tendency to express the divine in terms of radiating light. The great mandala explores this radiating light by engaging all the senses through both the beautiful and the terrible. On selecting vibrations. The cosmos is a complex system of vibrations. All vibrations can be viewed through the lens of good and bad, or they can be inclusively welcomed as lessons to be learned. Avoiding death and chasing after self-improvement are the largest obstacles to this way of living. Planting seeds and gathering fruit. The joy of life is not to better oneself, but simply to perform the task at hand with no thought of whether or not one will be better for having done it. Art with a capital A. Art is essential to understanding and accepting the transitional nature of life. As technology increases its span of influence, it is important that every human have a daily interaction with art. The Buddhism of Aldous Huxley. To find spirituality is a gift. To allow that spirituality to influence how you interface with the rest of the world is a sign of maturity. Living separately in a cloud of spirituality serves to widen the divide between organism and environment. D.T. Suzuki, the mindless scholar. To practice Zen, to study philosophy, to live as a scholar, all of this requires no more than humility. D.T. Suzuki represented the highest of scholarship and the humblest of discipleship. For these reasons, he is the closest thing we have to a mentor of Alan Watts. Our radically misnamed materialistic civilization must above all cultivate the love of material, of earth, air, and water, of mountains and forests, of excellent food and imaginative housing and clothing, and of cherishing our artfully erotic contacts between human bodies. Alan Watts.